Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it's been quite a while since I made a video. Things have been pretty crazy. I've had a lot of Etsy orders that I've been very grateful and excited to fulfill, but I am back. I know I said the next video I was going to make was the testing video of the sax knife. However, I came up with a fun idea that I wanted to do. If you guys want to see that video, leave a comment for me and I will certainly make it. But it just didn't seem like a very fun type of video. I assure you I've used it to split wood, but if you guys really want to see it, just give me a comment, let me know. But today I'm going to be making a chopper knife from the Warhammer 40k universe, an Ork Choppa knife. Basically the idea is to make a super crude looking but effective chopper, somewhat similar to the sax, but a little bigger and a little more crude looking, but not crude looking as in, a crude method of make. Instead, it's more of a cartoony looking crude. So it's actually going to be quite fun and interesting to see how I will accomplish that. I am going to make it functional, and I will have an Etsy listing for it, just because I think it'll look cool when I'm done with it. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I think for this one I'm going to use some leaf spring because it's got a little more width to it than the railroad clips do. So yeah, but thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys a little later after I've done some of the base forging work. So I know I said I was going to use a piece of leaf spring for this choppa, but I decided to actually not do that. And I've got it mostly flattened out here. I'm going to cut off the tip because choppas are... So I should explain a little bit more what a choppa is. First of all, there is no R, it's C-H-O-P-P-A. And generally speaking, there are two forms of choppa. You have the axe version, which is, as you may infer from the category, an axe, basically. A smaller hatchet used in one hand. And both of these are one-handed weapons, or tools. So you have the axe. I'm going to be making a knife-style choppa. Because I think they look cooler and I think it's more within my capability to do so. But now that I have the tip clipped off, I will be able to continue with the actual forging process. The one thing I'm worried about with this is I may not be able to get it long enough or wide enough. We will just have to see, but I am going to forge the whole thing out of one hunk of steel to give it that crude look I was speaking about earlier. I'm going to put you guys back on the time lapse, just so that it's easier to see the forging process in a quicker time span. So yeah. Alright, so I've moved on to the handle for the time being, just so I can kind of get a feel for what I'm wanting to do in the handle region. And I think I'm going to do a pretty simple handle design. I think I'm going to flare out the pommel and sharpen it. And then I'm going to also round off the corners on the handle, give it a little taper in the middle, just so that it holds the hand a bit better. And the blade itself, I'm actually, I like the shape of a lot. It mimics somewhat like the swords that the Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings movies have, where it's got the straight blade and the curved back tip. So I am liking that homage to that to Lord of the Rings as well, because I do enjoy those movies and books quite a bit. Yeah, I think this is going to give it the curvature around the hand that it's going to need here. This should be good enough, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and flare out the pommel of the handle now a little bit. And then I'll do some straightening and call it a day as far as the forging goes. I'll give it a quick edge grind, but I do want to leave most of the scale on to give it that crude look. Give it a quick edge grind, and then I'll do a little bit of a chopping test. This was a much quicker build than a lot of my other knives because I did not have to go through most of the finishing process, which takes a very long time. Or at least I'm not going to have to go through most of the finishing process. And so I will be able to make this, one video. This is a similar sized knife to the Sax, but it does not have all the extra steps that went into the Sax. I am obviously still going to harden it, because you should harden every knife you can. That way it'll last longer, have a better edge, etc., etc. There's no reason not to. Okay, then I need to give it a nice straighten there in between the blade and the handle. Yeah, needs quite a bit of straightening. I'll put you back on time lapse to spare you the monotonous straightening process. Give you a quick overview before I grind it, and then show you the finished product after that. Alright, so the Choppa here is finished forged. I'm going to go over to my 1" by 30" belt sander and give it a good edge grind and a little bit of a profile grind after it cools off naturally. Then I'll quench it. Alright, so here's the finished Choppa. It looks pretty crude. That is exactly what I was going for. You will notice up here it's hard to see. There we go. Up here, there are actually 2 cracks in the blade, one right there and one lower down. Obviously, if I'm sending this out in an Etsy order, I'm not going to be shipping this one or any ones that do develop cracks. I think I'll have to reevaluate my water quenching analysis for railroad clips, because I did make a couple knives where they hardened fine and didn't crack, and then I've made a couple projects now where they have cracked, so that's something I'll have to keep in mind. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well, pretty crude looking, pretty orky, some might say. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment, and please do subscribe. And share it with anybody who you think may be interested. That helps my channel out a lot. And I will have a link in the description for my Etsy page and for the specific listing of this Choppa as well. But thanks again, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.